So, where do I begin? Well, for starters, for those of you who don't spend your lives on the internet, and God bless you, you're doing the right thing. Yesterday evening, around 8 p.m. UK time, a Twitter account by the name Nia Plays Overwatch accused me of grooming and soliciting nude images from underage girls, specifically her. Now, before we go any further, I should clearly state that these accusations were proven to be false. They were made by a troll account, a young boy from what we can gather, 14, as some people have told me, who made a fake account pretending to be a 17-year-old black woman, who then later confessed that the whole thing was a prank and that they simply wanted to show the community how, in their words, cringe it is and how easily it would cancel anyone. To that end, many people did try to cancel me, although I hate the word. And many people believed the allegations immediately, accusing me of being a pedophile, calling me names that I care really not to repeat right now. And so, in light of all this being exposed as fake, I just wanted to get my thoughts out, and Twitter definitely didn't feel like the right place to do it. So, apologies, this is just a bit of a vent, kind of a catharsis as much as anything else. But before I go any further at all, I want to make one thing clear, which is that please do not use what happened to me as an excuse to undermine or disbelieve actual victims of real crimes, of grooming, of sexual assault, or any sexual misconduct. I would never want my legacy to have contributed to that in any way, shape, or form. So, in truth, this is really not even about those kind of accusations, because this is about a catfish, really. The difference between what happened to me with a fake account versus what real women go through is that they are real women, not a fictitious made-up character. The reason that false accusations of sexual misconduct are incredibly rare is because for real women, it is a huge and uphill task to even come out and speak about their experiences. Inevitably, they will deal with harassment, abuse, witch hunts, and all sorts of vile and degrading character assassinations. And that's, again, the difference. For a real person, those are serious consequences to weigh up, and real people have to face the consequences of the actions and accusations they may make. This person simply conducted their hoax and then deleted all their social media, never to be seen again, thus dodging all the consequences of their actions, which is why real women almost never tend to lie about such things. But this was not a real woman. This was a fake account, and perhaps what's sad is that no one really bothered to investigate whether this was a fake account or not, but I will get into that in a moment. I just wanted to make that much clear that this should not, in your mind, infringe upon when real women speak out about what they've been through. As for what happened to me, I'll try and answer, I think, the first question that everyone has been asking me, how do you feel? And I guess I don't really have an answer for that. I was actually live on stream when people came into my stream sharing the link to the twit longer. The story basically lied to say that there was a team manager who booked me for a private session with a plat level team, and Nia, the fake doesn't exist Nia, was one member of the team, a female member of the team, who during the VOD review I apparently singled out for praise, and then afterwards DM'd privately, told her I found her voice cute and attractive, and various other things, eventually leading to me soliciting nude images from her despite knowing that she was underage. All of which a bizarre concoction of a mind that I don't think I'll ever understand. The accusations also included fake and doctored screenshots of Discord messages that I'd apparently sent, which, again, were not real, were not me. I was live on stream when it happened, so there's actually video of me reacting to reading it the first time. I'll actually play it for you now. This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. This is actually crazy. It's crazy. People are faking screenshots about me. What did I ever do to anyone of this kind that they would... What? There's just no way. There's just no way. So shortly after this, I ended stream and I proceeded to watch the reaction on Twitter, which is a horrendous place for any of this to take place, but that is the vehicle that Nia had chosen. FYI, I'm referring to them as Nia, but the original account goes by the name of Swag Tortoise. And I think for obvious reasons, to avoid the immense amount of cringe that it would take to repeat that name, I'll continue to stick to Nia. So I'm scrolling through Twitter, and within 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'm watching person after person call me disgusting, a vile animal, a pig, someone that should be extricated from the Overwatch community, a pedophile, a groomer. People started to go back into the previous tweets that I had made, and they started again calling me a pedophile. They began to DM me privately, harass me on stream, and when I ended stream, harass my Discord server, and yeah, basically hurl abuse my way, call me, again, names I really don't care to repeat. Sadly, notable figures in and around the Overwatch community also followed suit, calling me all kinds of names, including Twitter verified journalists. I will put those in heavy quotation marks because you would expect journalists would do some due diligence, but none was done. And I was, in the eyes of some people, guilty of a crime that I didn't even know existed, let alone committed. And of course, I could not have done because it was not real. I watched my career that I had spent 4 odd years working towards basically go down the drain in about 30 minutes. Everything I had done up until now was labeled as some sort of sham, some sort of mastermind scheme to secretly get into the Overwatch community so I could use that to groom underage women. My previous work and advocacy for women's rights and anti-sexism was held against me as simply a ploy to lure women into trusting me so that I could then do such nefarious acts. So yeah, I was not doing too great. I described it to a friend recently as feeling like I was hit by a truck, except I wasn't on the road. I was in my bedroom on the 2nd floor, and the truck decided to drive up the stairs, plow through me, and then casually exit stage left. Because there really is no way for me to accurately describe to you my emotions. I actually felt quite emotionless, quite numb, and I've never really felt that way before. It was truly just difficult to process, reading the things that I was reading about what I had allegedly done, about what a horrendous human being I allegedly was, and how I deserved, in the eyes of some people, no sympathy, and sadly not even the chance to reply. Several notable creators began to unfollow me, block me on various social media, all before I even actually physically had the time to gather up a response. As soon as I was able to gather myself, I began to set about gathering evidence to disprove the fake events that never happened. But of course, how do you disprove something that is fictitious? How do I prove to people that a fake coaching session that never happened? What proof do I have that I was never in a place that doesn't exist? Still, I set about trying to do so. I began to record a screen recording of every Discord DM I'd ever sent to anyone to show that the accused Nia had never crossed my path. I had never sent them any message on any platform. I didn't even know they existed before the Twitlonger burst them into my life. I also set about writing my own Twitlonger explaining how I don't offer private coaching, and the only coaching I do is on stream, and it can only be redeemed via Patreon or channel points. So the idea that a team manager booked me not just for one, but multiple coaching sessions in a private server was of course a lie, but I knew at the time that no one would believe me. And that really was the scary thing. So for context, it was about 2 hours or so, just over 2 hours, between the original Twitlonger and then Swag Tortoise admitting that they were Nia, that it was an elaborate hoax just to expose cancel culture. And within those 2 hours, I watched my life fall apart, basically. I watched my reputation be dragged through the mud, I think would be an understatement. I don't think there's many worse things you could be accused of than being a pedophile. And I just sat there knowing that for a large number of people, they would never believe me when I deny all these accusations, that in their mind, I would forever be that person. I would always be the groomer, and when my name would be brought up, it would always be associated with this vile, heinous tag. So in a way, I am grateful that this person did in the end admit that it was all a hoax. Because, and perhaps it's a rather morbid thought, but I keep thinking, what if they had not? What if they had just gotten bored and decided to cease activity on the Nia account, on the Swag Tortoise account, just disappear without an explanation? and I would be left trying to defend myself against ghosts. So in a way, I'm lucky that my name was unequivocally cleared, and that the Overwatch community, I hope, knows that I didn't have any involvement with any such thing. Although, in the internet being the internet, there are still some people who continue to harass me, calling me a groomer and a pedophile, but I take that on the chin. So what am I trying to say? I don't know. I don't really have a neat, succinct message or lesson learned from any of this. I think those of you who watch my content know that I tried to be optimistic, even on my podcast when we're in the most dire of straits and ranting about the most uphill battle. I always try and end on a positive note, but I don't know what little ribbon I can quite put on this experience. I mean, what it's shown me is that the internet is a dark and scary place. If someone out there gets bored, they can doctor and manipulate screenshots to make you look like a pedophile, and in the eyes of large sections of the community, they will hound you, harass you, and drag your name through the mud just off of those alone. Like I said, I didn't even have the physical time to get my own response out before people had laid their judgment to bear. And so I suppose that's one lesson that I'd like to take from this, and one thing that if I could say to people is that to just take your time. Due diligence is a word that I don't think gets really thought of enough or used enough, but I really wish people had done it. During those couple hours when I was presumed guilty, several quote-unquote journalists amplified this message, sharing to their large audiences that I was a pedophile without giving me the chance to even disprove the accusations labeled at me. People who are Twitter verified, one person who is the assistant editor at PC Gamer, people who confer with them authority, and people who viewers would look to and assume that would have done their due diligence. So yeah, I think the internet age encourages us to throw everything out as immediately and as quickly as possible. Now, I understand this as a content creator, big news drops and you want to be the first person covering it so that it gets picked up on the algorithm and everyone is watching your video. But that's random miscellaneous content, not someone's life. And so I really struggle to understand the people who felt the pressing need to go straight to Twitter, amplify this message, and call me all sorts of names within 2 minutes of the twit longer before I could even say anything. I don't think there's anything lost from waiting a little bit to let the situation develop. And I understand a lot of the people who were saying these things were doing so with, in their mind, good intent, under the banner of speaking out for victims as good people should do. But, and maybe I'm old school now, in my mind, and the philosophy I try to live by is that a good person is patient and kind. Kind when there's doubt or confusion, especially when there's doubt and confusion, because that's usually when it's needed the most. And I hope that in the future, should anything like this ever happen, we all take the time to show a little kindness, to show a little bit of patience, and to give all parties involved the benefit of the doubt, to give everyone a chance to rebuttal, a chance to tell their story, a chance to speak before they're condemned and written off as an irredeemable, worthless human being. It's also opened my eyes about the nature of content creation. And if you'll forgive me the self-pitying, it was incredibly alarming to see my years of work in the Overwatch community just be erased in 30 seconds because some teenager on the internet was bored. And I'm also incredibly thankful that I had so many friends who did reach out, who did seek clarification, and who sent messages of encouragement when it was proven that these allegations were false. I have not been able to respond to all the messages because there have been a huge number for which I'm eternally grateful I cannot describe. But I just want to say to all those people, thank you. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, if my career could end overnight for something I didn't do, for when I'm just sitting there minding my own business, suffering through a game of Overwatch on Junkertown and playing words on stream with my chat, and then to suddenly have it all taken away, I'm not sure that's an industry I want to keep working in. And I know that's something other creators have already thought about, and honestly that is my message to them too. This is an unreliable industry. Anything that involves you being a personality on the internet means you're subject to the judgment, to the vitriol, to the hatred of people who know nothing about you, who don't want to know anything about you, but who will happily judge and exile you for whatever perceived crimes they believe you've committed. They will quite happily slander your name. And perhaps most upsettingly, even when your innocence is proven beyond doubt, they will not apologize. as so many of these people have not done, for the torture that I was put through for those several hours when I had maybe the lowest moment of my life ever, when I had thoughts that I've never had before. So be careful. I know a lot of people look at content creation as an ideal job, and I'm eternally grateful. I love my job, and I gave up many things to pursue content creation. I gave up a stable job, and I have loved every minute of it. I've never regretted it. But now I can't help but doubt what my future is going to be in content creation, and particularly in Overwatch content creation. I don't want to commit to anything yet. I truly believe in the give it time philosophy, which is why I did not respond to any of these accusations until now, until I had the time to gather my thoughts, to be calm, to be collected, to be as emotionally stable as I possibly can be. And so to that end, I will not make any decisions about my future, or at least not in the long term. In the short term, I think I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from Overwatch. So this might be the last video you see from me for a while. Hopefully I'll be back soon, but I can't speak for anything. And I don't want to make any promises for how I might feel tomorrow, let alone a week from now. I will like to focus on my second channel, The Soak, which some of you will already be familiar with, which is where I do movie and TV breakdowns. So yeah, I guess my final lesson is be kind. Be kind, guys. There really is no need, there's no urgency to go to the internet and start slandering people, to start saying horrible things to them, when you really might not know the situation. And I cannot stress this enough, but if you don't have all the information, you absolutely have the right to shut the fuck up and say absolutely nothing until you know more. So anyways, I've rambled for long enough. Thank you for those of you who stuck around. And again, I just want to emphasize that this really has nothing to do with real victims of grooming or sexual misconduct. So please continue to show kindness, continue to believe women who speak out, but also please allow those accused the chance to present their story, to be kind to them, to everyone involved until you know more, to show human empathy. Because in my mind, if you only reserve empathy for a select group of people, that's not empathy. That's just bias. So yeah, I don't know how to sign this off, but thank you for watching. Goodbye till I hopefully see you next.